Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Fusion of Honor, where we break down everything that happens in Ring of Honor and MLW Fusion. And for the first time in a little while, we do have some MLW news. So it's a break from the norm. It's a bad norm. We want some MLW news. We want some MLW action to talk about. And of course, when we do talk about that MLW action, I am joined, as always, by my co-host. Not the co-host of Blunt Impact, no, not Mary Jane, but the co-host of Fusion of Honor, the three-time baby-making champ. This is Ness. Sir, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing mighty fine today. True Heels, what is the deal? Finally, some MLW news. Hopefully, it's not like they just throw something at us and then disappear for another, 2 months or something like that. But we can get at this point.
Yeah, and what exactly we are taking, because we have to take what we get, is that on their September 11th event in Dallas, Fort Worth, it will be headlined by a War Chamber match. Now, for those of you who don't know what a War Chamber match is, it is, basically it's MLW's version of War Games. And what this is it's going to be a steel chamber with the perimeter on the top, fortified with barbed wire. And there will be 2 teams of 4. One team will be captained by the Von Erichs, and they will have to find 2 other people to team with them. And accepting the challenge is none other than Filthy Tom Lawler. And hopefully this will be the finale of the Lawler-Von Erichs feud. Lawler has promising to end the Von Erichs run in MLW on their home turf. It is in Texas. It is in Dallas, where the Von Erichs, either from Dallas or they're from Hawaii. And similar to War Games, there's a coin toss to determine which team enters first, 1-on-1 for 5 minutes. The winner of the coin toss comes out 2-on-1. Alternating teams have wrestlers enter every 2 minutes. Once all combatants are in the War Chamber, victory is won by submission, surrender, or pinfall. So very similar to a War Games match. I don't know if we have any confirmation on who is going to be the other 2 people for the Von Erichs team. I'm pretty sure we'll have Kevin Koo and all the other guys from Filthy Team Lawler as part of Lawler's team. So we'll have to see how exactly that happens. But it gives us something to look forward to for the September 11th event. And they got a month to complete the build, and maybe a month to announce that hopefully we get Hammerstone versus Jacob Fatu. So what do you think about the War Chamber match? And do you think this is the end of the Von Erichs Lawler feud?
I don't know. I want to say that since they're promoting it as it'll be the end, with Tom Lawler saying that he's going to end it, I have a feeling that if he loses, it won't be the end. It won't be the end until he gets a decisive win. But as far as who can be on I have no idea. I was thinking that it could possibly be one person could be Alexander Hammerstone, but it just makes more sense for them to, push in the direction of him facing Jacob Fatu or something along those lines. It might not be Jacob Fatu exactly, but like something along with him versus some Contra unit members, something to build up that storyline. But far as the Von Erichs, I have no idea who might be able to on their team. Possibly returning Davey Richards, you want to get that, you want to get somebody to make it meaningful for having them be on your team. You don't want to just throw any old person in there and everybody's like, oh, this is who you're going to team with. Oh, well, maybe Filthy Tom Lawler and Team Filthy is going to get this win. It has to mean something. So, I just hope that we're wowed or at least actually surprised when we see and find out who's teaming with the Von Erichs.
If it is Davey Richards, I think that's a smart idea to get him involved in main event stuff and get him in the mix to throw him to the wolves, no pun intended. But let's talk about this week's episode of Ring of Honor Week by Week. We'll get it quickly out of the way. It's a match between Eli Isom and Dak Draper. And I got to say, what threw me the most for the match was the realization that Dak Draper really is teaming up with Dalton Castle. Like, that probably was what made me the most sad. like I had all the sads, but that made me the most sad. And I feel bad for Eli Isom simply because he could be somebody who is potentially going after a TV title, adding a wrinkle to the faction warfare stuff that's going on. You know, somebody who's not involved in any of these things going after that TV title. He could be doing other things like anything else. But he is forced to be in this storyline. The match goes just about 11 minutes long. It ends with a disqualification. When Dalton Castle gets involved, the ref throws it out. And I don't know. I feel as though this is probably a not memorable part of this feud. Really, Eli Isom is just like, you don't need him, Dak. You don't need him. That's really all I got. Ness, did you have any takeaways from this one?
I'll say this. The only good thing about this match is because it told a different side of the story, I guess. And all their matches have told different stories, so I give them that. Dak's still trying to pretty much get the 100% approval from Dalton Castle, and of course, you got a former world champ, a star in the professional wrestling business. Of course, you want to get that seal of approval and have them be in your corner, but he's going about it the wrong way, which we've seen numerous occasions where he could put his opponent away in Eli Isom, but then he's just placating to the crowd, aka Dalton Castle and the boys. But I just felt like this is now it's starting to get to the point where it's just like, all right, guys, let's wrap it up now. Like let's get it over with. And I don't want to feel that way about this feud and the storyline, because it's good. It's great that they're putting both these up and comers in this spot and basically working with Dalton Castle, getting them over. But now it's just like, all right, it's getting a little tad bit repetitive. I don't mind seeing them face off against each other because they actually do have decent matches. But with Dalton getting involved in ways that he really shouldn't be, now this match, Eli Isom, they're doing like the 50-50 booking thing, which we see that it doesn't really work most of the time, or it's just like, all right, now where's the actual sense in this booking? So I guess it's okay that he got the win and he didn't take another loss, but it really wasn't necessary. It really wasn't necessary. Dalton getting involved, and now as much as Dak is trying to get that seal of approval from Dalton just cost you the match. So what sense does it make? You're trying to impress this guy, and he just potentially took you out of a title ranking, a system ranking for a title.
What was less necessary, this match or that Coi Leray freestyle that you love so much?
Definitely that freestyle. I watched this match multiple times. I will watch this match multiple times before I even attempt to listen to that shit again.
Well, something that Ness is definitely interested in watching again and again and again is our opening match of Ring of Honor television this week. We see Quinn McKay taking on Mandy Leon. It is a tournament match, and maybe I'm giving away the ending, but we have Quinn finally getting a fair shot, a one-on-one shot against a member of the Allure without the other member there. And she is going to be put through the ringer in order to try to get her win. And there have some nice spots in this match where you kind of aren't expecting a lot because Quinn is still pretty green, but she is able to do a lot more than you expect. And that's, it's always nice when you come into a match with certain expectations and they kind of say, hey, we can do a little bit more. And that is really the story of this match, where Quinn McKay finally gets the win. she advances in the tournament. I know Ness was all smiles for this one. I liked this match. What did you think about this one?
The ending was really heartwarming. I'm trying not to shed a tear and get all emotional, but man, just Caprice Coleman and Ian Riccaboni, they were just the excitement that they have that their friend finally got this win, finally overcoming these people that, well, one of the people that had been bullying her, putting her through so much hell. She finally got the victory. But prior to getting that victory, this is where I'm going to get into the match. She definitely is still green. You can definitely see it during the match, which again, no fault of her own. You know, she's working to get to that status in her career. She's just pretty much just now starting it. Now she's just working with people that are have experience. Again, Mandy Leon is almost a 10-year vet. She's been in the business for like 8 years or so. And I believe, and I got to give Mandy props. She sold her ass off for Quinn to look great in this match. As much as I want to give Quinn her props for, you know, having the offense that she did, it looked that much better for the fact of the way that Mandy was selling it. And the match was typical, you know, baby face trying to overcome the odds booking. You know, she came out hot, which again showed her, I don't want to call it inexperience, but again, she wanted to put so much into the match to get it over with. But Mandy being a vet, knowing how to, all right, let her, I'll call it the rope-a-dope. Yeah. Letting her get all her energy out, exasperating her energy, letting her think it was going to be over quickly, but then just having that veteran mind and just having that experience to overcome it, you know, then take back the take over for that, you know, that stun of the match, only to have it come down to Quinn winning with the roll up, which is fine, because I think it would have been a little bit unbelievable if Quinn just came in and dominated the whole match. It wouldn't have made that much sense because she doesn't have that experience to do so. But overall, the match itself, I think it was great. Great booking, great ending, very heartwarming. But this is where we got. I don't see her going any further than this, unfortunately, which is fine because at the end of the day, this was the only thing she needed to do. This is the main thing she needed to do, and the main thing she needed to prove to herself, to Mandy, I'll even throw in Angelina Love, both of the Allure members, now that they weren't able to be at ringside helping each other, and to the fans, you know, for being behind her and wanting her to continue in the tournament, you know, and even to her colleagues and the board of directors and Maria Kanellis for, you know, extending another opportunity for her to be in this Women of Honor title tournament. Yeah,
and now she is going to be up against the prodigy, Roxy, next time.
AKA pretty much the fan favorite, one of the fan favorites.
So it's gonna be, I agree with you. I don't think she gets past Roxy. But we should note, if you are on the ROH Fan Experience page on Facebook, like Ness and myself, that Mandy Leon did go on to there and post that Quinn cheated by grabbing a handful of tights and that the ref is the worst ref and that she is completely done with this tournament, which, I mean, is a little insulting considering your partner is still in the tournament, but, you know, whatever. Yeah. But speaking of the tournament and speaking of first-round matchups, we had our eyes on this next one when Trish Adora takes on Marty Bell. Now, if giving us the Quinn McKay win was kind of what we expected, then this match shifted things a lot because the expectation was that Marty Bell was going to pick up the win and she was going to go on to face Allison Kay in the next round. It would be the story of a tag team forced to face off against each other. Who wants the gold more? We talked about how they had a storyline in NWA last week when we were given the kind of a preview of this first round match. And Trish Adora said, that's a great plan, but no plan survives contact with the enemy. And I am the enemy. I am the enemy because I need to win. I must win this match. And that's exactly what she did. This was a good match. a very physical match. And the two of them had nice chemistry together in the ring, I got to say. After the match, Marty Bell, she suffered that loss, and she's sitting there, and she's just kind of heartbroken. Trish Adora reaches out to her, and they have the handshake. They maintain the code of honor. But this was a good match, and I'm looking forward now to seeing that Trish Adora, Allison Kay. In the same way, I don't think that Quinn gets past Roxy. I don't think that Trish gets past Allison Kay. However, stranger things have happened, as we just found out. So you never, ever know. But what I want to know is, Ness, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, just like we talked about last week, man. I thought that, going into it, the commentary even played up on it, how Marty Bell and Allison Kay are the best of friends. We've talked about their storylines of how they've been on the odds in NWA, even in Impact at one point. So why not bring that to the Ring of Honor for the Women of Honor tournament? Clearly, Trish Adora had other plans for that, which was completely fine, because again, this match was very, very good, very technical, a lot of hard hitting action. But prior to the match, when they were showing the video packages, what swung it around to actually have me start thinking that maybe Marty Bell wouldn't win was Trish Adora is talking about, her mother, her being the
emotion, man.
Yeah, the emotion. Yeah. And that really did hit me. I was like, oh man, maybe Marty Bell won't be winning. She's talking about her mother and what she has going on in life. So it's like, oh man, you don't want to come out and say that stuff like that and put all that emotion out there and then lose.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That would have
a part of me when I was watching that was like, oh man, this is gonna suck for her when she loses. And then I was like, oh fuck.
I was like, oh shit, like maybe okay. I mean, I really still want to see Allison Kay and Marty Bell, but this might be shifting things, and things definitely got shifted. But at the end of the day, it's fine, because another element that I didn't even thinking about going into it was that she is, and Trish Adora is the Pan-African. I want to say it wrong. I know I'm going to forget one of the words to it. Pan-African, I think, Dysphoria champion, world title holder, which PWI is now recognizing as a official championship. So with that in mind, I kind of understand the booking as well. You don't want a world champion or a champion to take a loss. So, as with their title, especially now that it will be world renowned, so to speak, you don't want that a negative light on it, going into it, which, again, at the end of the day, I completely understand that aspect of it. Going forward, I would still like to see some type of storyline if both these ladies stay in Ring of Honor, or have their are able to freelance, whatever, come in, come out, whatever the case may be. Maybe at some point we can see Marty Bell versus Allison Kay in that type of setting. But yeah, going forward, I don't know. I don't see. Even though she's a champion, I just had that spiel about her being a champion, but they are extremely high on Allison Kay.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm ready. Oh, and they actually said that too. She has the Allison Kay has the discus lariat versus Trish Adora with the lariat Tubman. So that's going to be an aspect of that match that I'm definitely going to be looking out for. Who's going to be able to hit who with their lariats and their finisher to pick up the win? Because that's what it's going to come down to.
And I got to say, as somebody who is not super familiar with Trish Adora, I've seen her a little bit on AEW, on Dark, and Elevation a little bit. Lariat Tubman is a really, really good finisher name. That's a really good one. I gotta say. But let's talk about this main event. This was a really, really solid main event, and it's got one of Ness's boys in it. Well, it's got a bunch of Ness's boys in it.
Yeah.
It's got our champion, the most wanted, Bandido, teaming up with his Mexa Squad member, or former member. The team itself no longer exists, unfortunately. But teaming up with Ray Horus against Brody King and Chris Dickinson. And I liked the promo video for this one because Dickinson is talking about how he hasn't forgotten that Bandido beat him as part of the survival of the fittest match. Dickinson was one of the guys that we thought could win the match. We weren't expecting Bandido to win, so that was part of a surprise in and of itself. And this was a nice tag match.
Yeah.
This had some good moments, especially because Brody King and Dickinson are two guys who know each other very well. They've teamed together in New Japan Strong. Obviously, they are a team in Ring of Honor. But you're only as good as, or the match can only be as good as your opponent in the dance. And that plays a factor even in tag matches, or especially in tag matches, because there's more people involved. And when you have a team on the other side where it's Bandido and Rey Horus, who have been teaming with each other for so long, even if you remove Flamita from the equation, they are still a force to be reckoned with. And now you add in the fact that one of them is the world champion, that's even more pressure. That's even more eyes on you. That's why you're in the main event. So this was a nice match. I liked it. Mexa Squad picks up the win, Bandido and Rey Horus, as they should. After all, Bandido is the world champion. And I got to say, the only thing I didn't like about this was I felt as though it was a missed opportunity for Flip Gordon to really be involved and be in the build for the main event of Glory by Honor. It feels as though it's an afterthought almost. It feels as though it's just... And maybe it is because they're just trying to get rid of Flip's world title shot, and it's just like whatever. But even if that's what you're doing, you should give the match its due and give it its proper build, especially when you're trying to get. Now, granted, Ness is going, but like you're trying to get people to pay money, either to be in the arena or to watch on Fight or whatever. However, these people are going to buy it on pay-per-view. They deserve to have matches with storylines. So I feel as though it could have had a little bit more, but so more like just relevancy to the overall picture of what's happening in Ring of Honor. But as a match, just a match itself, very good. And that's what you think about this one.
Yeah, I like this match. I will say this: as much as I love Bandido, I don't know what was going on with him in this match. He was kind of off a little bit, because like there was the a couple moves he tried to hit. I don't know if he had I don't know if he was nervous, if he was moving too fast. The Fallsbury flop, he barely made contact with that. There was I don't know if it was a super kick or a Pele kick on Chris Dickinson. He barely connected on there. Again, when he tried to do a tornillo, he like just skinned the top of Chris Dickinson's head. So I'm just like, oh man, Bandido, I don't know if it's world champion jitters that you have or whatever.
But that doesn't it can't be that because he's been PWG world champion for 5 years.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what it was. But aside from that, the match was good. I like the fact that the finish was I'm sorry. Rey Horus and Bandido, Rey Horus with the assist for Bandido to hit the 21 plex at the back of Chris Dickinson's mind. That was the move that, made him lose his chance to go on and be in the face Rouge to get a shot at the Ring of Honor World Championship. So the first time that Bandido tried to attempt it, wasn't working. It didn't work. But then again, when he tried it again, and then with the assist from Rey Horus, then they got the win. That's how he picked it up. So I like how they continued with that story and then just showed how, all right, if I can't do it, my friend and my partner is going to assist me. And then the both of us, teamwork makes the dream work, so to speak. And that's exactly what happened. They picked up the win.
Yeah, and I hope we see more of Dickinson versus Bandido. That'll be a nice world title match down the road, as will Bandido Brody King down the road as well. That'll be a nice David versus Goliath moment. Oh, yeah. But let's do a quick preview of next week's Ring of Honor episode because it's got some interesting implications. Oh, We have the final round match of the first round. Holadad taking on Max the Impaler. which of course means we'll see Amy Rose. And I think we have Maxie and Paler winning that one, both of us.
Yeah, for sure.
But what's very interesting is the champions versus all-stars 10-man tag team match, which will see Bandido teaming up with Dragon Lee, Jonathan Gresham, Dickinson, and Homicide, so all of our champions, and their opponents, who we have to imagine basically means our number one contenders.
Yeah.
Maybe. The Briscoes, EC3, Flip Gordon, and Josh Woods. So if you go with pairings, you would say, well, EC3 and Dragon Lee, Josh Woods, Gresham, Briscoes, Violence, Flip, Bandido, which is an interesting kind of situation, especially because we know that at Glory by Honor, it's going to be Rhett Titus versus Jonathan Gresham. We don't have a TV title match yet, as far as I know, but maybe it will be EC3 versus Dragon Lee. But also what's interesting is that in this match, we're going to have an LFI TV champion tagging with a Foundation Pure champion, tagging with a Violence Unlimited tag team champions, and they have to coexist. That's going to be an interesting one. Nessie, looking forward to this.
Yes, I am, because that's just a combustible element waiting to blow up. It's funny because both teams have people together that don't like each other.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the All-Stars, the only people that really don't like each other or have an ongoing type of thing going on where they really don't like each other is EC3 and Flip Gordon for the most part. I know the Briscoes don't like Flip Gordon either, but I think they've moved on past it. They don't really care about him. We have Jonathan Gresham, who doesn't like Chris Dickinson and Homicide, and who also doesn't like Dragon Lee. We got Dragon Lee, who doesn't like the guys I just mentioned, and the guys I just mentioned, they don't like anybody. So it's pretty much Bandido. Oh, they don't like Bandido either. So because he's the world champ, so he has a target on his back. So pretty much this whole team of champions is a time bomb waiting to explode at the end of the day. So again, I doubt it, if they can get their wits about them and put their differences aside and just go out there and show that they are the champions, why they're the champions, and just not take the L, that would be good. But honestly, I do not see that happening whatsoever, just for the fact that they all don't like each other.
Neither do I. I think that the All-Stars are the ones who are gonna take this one, and set up some potential Glory by Honor matches, especially if as we're thinking, some of these guys are supposed to line up with each other. If EC3 pins, if they win because EC3 pins Dragon Lee, EC3 has a strong TV title argument. If the Briscoes win by pinning one of the tag champions, they have a strong argument. So we'll have to see exactly how all of that plays out. But that's our taste. That's our hint. Our appetizer for next week. And we'll be talking about all of those things here on Fusion of Honor, where we thank you once again for tuning in, as you guys always do. And remember, to hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe if you have not already. Ness, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at skinny__Kravitz. Catch me right here on True Hill Heat YouTube channel, one half of Fusion of Honor with my man, the StatKing, man of 1,004 numbers, where we review MLW Fusion and Ring of Honor. Catch me on Blunt Impact and Joyce Jabronis with Chris G. We will be going live every Thursday, reviewing Impact 1040. You can also catch me on NX3 with, once again, Chris G and Romeo Anthony Colon, where we review NXT for the time being while it's still a thing.
Yeah, I was about to say.
while it's still here, guys, because they're doing all types of cuts. We might get cut next. But also the Roundtable Rebel. Catch me on the Roundtables. And we will be back with True Toxicity very soon.
Yeah, and guys, you can catch me on Dark Power, breaking down everything that happens on AEW Dark, Elevation, and NWA Power. And you can catch me in the different groups on Facebook, getting into fun discussions with you guys, like the gentleman today who was asking people if they were really buying into what he says is a work, and he was referring to Adam being unable to be at All Out because his wife was giving birth. And I said, so she's not pregnant? And then he deleted the comment. So, you know, that's how it goes.
Either that or he blocks you.
You know, no, because it
No,
still it didn't load. Yeah.
Right.
It was loading. Yeah, but yeah, guys, just think things through. That's all that's all we suggest. You know, think things through more than WWE thinks through their roster. That's all we ask. So until next time, guys, on behalf of myself, on behalf of my co-host, the three-time baby-making champ, this has been another episode of Fusion of Honor. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you later.